Hey everybody, hope you're all doing well. So we missed out on the Tip Tuesday. We did make a video, but Johnny doesn't have a webcam and this was kind of a dialogue between us and I don't really know what to put in the background while we talk. So what I'm deciding to do is we're going to still release this video, and it was all Johnny's idea for this tip. He basically wanted to do a video about how to ask for help on sites like Stackoverflow, Reddit, Unity forums, wherever you're asking for help for your programming problems, how to ask for it, because he had an experience where he went on there and he asked for help and people just bashed him and made him feel bad about it. So I'm gonna play the clip where he's talking about it and then we'll jump into my section of it. Hope you all enjoy.
One of the things that I came across early on in my development career was posting things like trying to get advice and questions answered via, like, what was that website I used, Cody?
Stackoverflow.
Maybe posting them in like a question format on Stackoverflow or like Discord or whoever. So one of the things that happened to me, so it was a late night, and I was like, I'm really struggling with this project that I was working on. So I knew Stackoverflow was a great source of people that have been in the industry for a long time and were always able to help. And a lot of things that you get from people in, like, when you're watching like a YouTube video or trying to ask questions, teachers from our professors in school, they say, a great resource would be Stackoverflow. So what I did was I created an account. I was like, okay, I'm going to go on Stackoverflow. I don't understand what's going on with this code. And I knew the basics. Okay, so you take a picture or you copy your code, you put it in there and say, hey, I'm having a problem. Can anyone please assist? So it's basically exactly what I did. I said, hey, I'm having a problem with this code. Can anyone please assist? Here's my code. And oh boy, did they attack me. They ripped my code apart. They ripped me apart, and it was just basically them saying how unprofessional I was. How dare I? Did I do any research on my own? Stack Overflow is not just this site that you can just post your code, expect someone to do your work for you. Basically just berated me so much that I felt embarrassed and ashamed and was like, I am not good enough, and said nope, and deleted everything, took it all down, never have been back to Stack Overflow. Now that I'm getting a little bit better and stuff, it's not as serious. But what I found is because I think the issue was because there's so many really professional coders on Stack Overflow, people that just kind of know the industry in the sense of how things need to be formatted, what needs to be written down, the way it needs to be done. And so I think they kind of feel that a lot of people do get on there and kind of ask for just the answer to the question instead of maybe more of a learning opportunity. Or maybe they felt like my code wasn't clean enough in the sense of maybe I haven't done enough research or done enough on my own. And I think it was probably something simple that I just didn't have the right. I just needed to remove a couple things that weren't talking to each other or something like that. I can't remember now. It was probably about 4 or 5 years ago. So, I just wanted to give you guys the heads up that can be out there, but you can't let it bother you or you can't let it get to you, because some people out there are just going to be a little bit rude about the way they approach it. And, one of the things you can just say in the title, just say, hey, I'm very new. I'm just looking for assistance on how to go forward with this, or maybe some tips. But even then, I think that Stack Overflow, while it's a great resource and a great tool, I think just starting out, that's what I was talking about, how you need to find a good community, someone that can help support you, and people that are like-minded and doing kind of similar what you're doing, or at least can help understand what kind of struggle you might be going through, in the sense of you're doing a little simple thing. You're trying to do your own game. You've seen a lot of stuff on YouTube, or you went to school for it, and you're like, okay, now I want to do it all by myself, and I don't want to get help in the sense of a format of watching a video. I'm doing my research online, and a lot of times doing research online can be tricky because they give you, okay, this is kind of, you want the player to move, this is kind of what it should look like, here's the code. And even though that's the basis for the code. It's not completed, so you still might get a little lost. So it's like, don't be scared to go on Stack Overflow. I don't want to discourage you guys from that, but maybe it's a better idea to talk to someone like us. I'm not trying to pitch us in that sense, but find a community that's maybe a little bit more, attuned with like helping people younger in their careers, like in the sense of starting out slower or earlier stages, and maybe have them kind of help guide you a little bit, just so because you don't want to get to where I was, like feeling so embarrassed, even though I'm going to school to learn about game design, and I have tons of friends in school. At the time, I was just really late, and so I didn't ask, and I wanted to try it out and see if maybe I could get some good help. I kind of think that this activity tip was just mostly about making sure that you're reaching out to the right resources, and Cody was going to kind of talk to you real quick about maybe how to format the question so it's not gets so attacked.
All right, so let's talk about it. So Johnny posted a question on Stack Overflow, got attacked for it, got demeaned for it, felt embarrassed, removed his question, so never got an answer from there, and never went back to Stack Overflow. That's not cool, right? I mean, there's new programmers every day asking for help. How many of them actually get discouraged and either stop programming altogether or never return to a site, or get afraid to ask for help now that somebody has demeaned them on one of these platforms? I think for new programmers, if you do go to ask a question on one of these platforms, and this does happen, that somebody kind of discourages you, or kind of, I don't want to say attack, but kind of comes at you the wrong way, I guess. What you should do is don't give up. Maybe just go to a different platform and ask there. Like Johnny was talking about, communities are a great place to ask these questions. One of the Unity YouTubers, pretty much all of them that do tutorials, have Discords you can join. We have one as well, and you can go ahead and ask in there. I'm sure somebody would be more than happy to help you out in one of their channels. We'll be more than happy to help you out as well. But I think if you're gonna go post on these sites, there is kind of a thing you should follow to format your question. So first things first, do research. Do your own research first. Spend at least about, I don't want to say spend so much time, but spend about 20 minutes. I'm going to Lambda School right now, and they have a 20-minute rule. If you aren't making progress at 20-minute mark, ask for help. So that's a good rule to follow. Also, I would say when you go to ask, do what Johnny says and, say that you are new. State that you are new and you have very little experience. And then try to describe your question in full detail. So you're going to want to say kind of what your goal is, and then say what is happening, and then paste as much code as you can that relates to that problem. So if there's a couple strips talking to each other, then paste that code. You want to get as much information on the question as possible. Finally, you're going to want to just say, hey, I'm just looking to get pointed in the right direction. Because a lot of times people will think that you're on there and you're just wanting the answer. And that's kind of where a lot of these negative experiences come from, is because people go on there just asking for the answer to everything, and they feel like, well, why are you just asking for the answer? We're not here just to give you the answer. We want to help you, and we want to help you learn, type of thing. So definitely just say you're looking for a point in the right direction, and that's pretty much how you should go about structuring your question and everything on those websites, and in general actually. But definitely, if this does happen, do not get discouraged. Just go to another site. I mean, you can even sometimes ignore that one and somebody else will come through and be more polite about the way they answer your question or reply to you in the forum. But definitely don't get discouraged. We've all been there. There are people out there that will be more than happy to help. If you structure your question in that way, I think it will help reduce the amount of backlash or negativity that you will receive on these sites. And that's it for this tip. I hope it helps you guys out. And like and subscribe for more tips. And I will see you guys in the next video. We got a podcast coming up today or tomorrow. So take care. Be watching for that. And we'll see you guys then. Keep creating.